How you doing?
Good, how are you?
So I'm here because you guys are here. So what's going on?
So this all started Friday, if we're correct, or yeah, Friday. Like the main thing happened Friday. So I broke up with my boyfriend that I was dating.
Okay.
And like there was we were just arguing the day prior on Thursday, and then on Friday he was like, can we talk and stuff like that? And I was like, sure, like go ahead, we'll talk. And then he was like, can we just sit down and talk later? I was like, sure, but like later on. And I said, yeah. But then he went out with his friend and stuff like that. And then I ended up texting him like a full paragraph saying like, hey, like I don't want to do this anymore. And then he's like, okay. And then we met up at the beach, just to like get the final words and stuff like that. And he was like, can we just talk it out? Like just talk everything out before we don't say any words to each other after that. And I was like, sure. So then we went to the beach by like Higgs Beach, that little parking divot thing, whatever it's called. And we walked to the beach, or like we're in my car, and then I said something about like I don't want to be back together or something, and then he walked out of my car and like was messing with the door handle, and then I unlocked the door, and my keys were on my left side, my left side of my pocket, and he grabbed them, and he's like, we're not leaving until we talk. So he grabbed them, we were sitting by that seawall thing, and he grabbed the keys, and then I was like, can I have my keys back? I want to go, I have plans with friends. And then he's like, no, and all this stuff. And then he took his keys to my car, and I had to go in his car just to grab them, because he was like, can you grab, like, if you go in my car, I'll grab your keys. And I was like, okay. And then I call him, and then he doesn't give me back the keys, and then he starts driving away. And I was like, I just walked in the car while he was reversing, and then he stopped the car and ran to get me back in the car. I was like, give me my keys back and stuff, and he's like, okay, fair. But he's like, once you get back in the car, I was like, no, and then I got dragged back in. But then he starts pulling away, and I was like, let me out of the car. And then he drives off. And then I had my phone with me, and I was calling somebody.
He was driving you at this point off the keys, right?
Yeah, this was when we were pulling off, and then he was driving up.
Okay, so let me say this.
Yeah.
I need you to stop because it's his complaint.
Right
yeah, please, because it has to come from him.
Yeah. Like this part just got blurred for a second, but something like we were pulling out, and I was like, okay, are we just gonna?
So let's back up a little bit. All right, let's back up. So you and your boyfriend broke up.
Yeah.
Okay, and this happened a few days ago.
Yeah.
Big Pine. You guys called it off, whatever.
Yeah.
And then somehow you guys met at Higgs Beach because he wanted to talk it out, correct?
Yeah. So we both live down here. We don't live. Sorry, if I said Big Pine, that was my bad.
Okay. So where are you from? Within
Key West. Yeah, I live in Key West.
Okay. And your boyfriend?
Stock Island.
Stock Island.
So
okay.
within the same distance.
Yeah. Okay.
And so then.
So when you guys met up at Higgs Beach, when was that?
That was the day that I texted him. Like I was done.
Okay. And what day was that?
Friday.
So that was Friday.
Yeah.
So like last week Friday.
Yeah, last week Friday.
Okay, because today's Friday.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay,
Sorry.
You gotta, and the reason why I'm kind of asking you a question is because I got to get the actual date.
Specifics, sorry.
Yeah, I got to get the specifics. You can't leave anything out, all right?
Yeah.
So last Friday, now is Friday when you guys broke up, or was that, because I know you said Friday you guys met up at Higgs Beach,
Yeah.
right? Did you guys break up before Friday?
So Thursday we were like there was an argument, and
Right.
it was like we're done or something.
Okay.
But then it wasn't like a we're done. He just said it because I think he was upset or something.
Mm-hmm.
Which I mean, okay. And then I didn't talk to him for the whole Friday, and then I answered because he was just calling my phone. And then I answered, and I was like, he's like, can we just talk and stuff? And I was like, she's like, do you want this? I was like, I do, but like I also don't. And he's like, okay. So then we met up, and I was like, or we just talked, and we were like, he's like, I have somebody with me right now. Can we talk later? I said yes. So then he went out with his friend to do whatever. They went to Dairy Queen or something. And
when was this?
this was Friday now.
This was Friday.
Yeah,
now.
sorry, Friday.
Okay.
Sorry, we moved to Friday. He was gone for like an hour and a half ish,
Mhm.
and I sent him the text saying like, "Hey, like I don't want to do this. Like I want to break up, basically."
Okay.
And I sent him the text, and then I just like whatever, like I'm done. And then I just went to go plan hanging out with friends that exact same night. And he called me, and he kept calling me, and I was like, I don't want to talk. And then I finally answered, and I was like, yes. And he's like, can we just talk this out and just have our like last like 5 minutes together? And I was like, yeah. Then that's what led to us going to Higgs Beach. And then when we were at Higgs Beach, we were talking at first in my car, and then he was like, because I said no, like I was like, he's like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, like I'm done. I'm like, no, I don't want to be in this anymore.
Okay.
And then that's when he walked around my car, and like, because I locked the door because I was about to pull out, and he started pulling the door. That's when
So you guys were talking from car to car.
No.
You was in your car.
Sorry, I didn't. We were supposed to get out of the car, and then he walked into my car. Then we sat in my car. And
Okay,
then,
so he got out of his car
Yeah.
and sat with you in your
Yeah.
car. Okay.
And then he walked out of my car, and then he walked to my door, and he started like pulling the door. And I opened it. I was like, Yes, like
So he went from the passenger side seat, got out of the car,
And then-
walked over to the driver's side, tried to get into your car through the driver's side door.
yeah, and then I unlocked it.
Right.
And like my keys were like I had like a whole bigger keychain and they were
Right.
hanging out. And he grabbed them and he was like, "We're talking." So then we Seawolf in. So we sat there and then I was like, I don't want to do this. And then he had my keys and he's like, "We're not going until we go." So he undid this part and he just had the key itself. I had all this
The key
stuff.
fob?
He had he had my key fob and everything else I didn't have. But this
Okay.
is my car. And then he's like, "We're talking," and I was like, "Okay, well, I just want my key back." And then he walked towards his car and then took it with him. This is when we were walking after. I was like, "No, I don't want to do this anymore." And he's like, "Let's go inside because I don't want to stand in the sun or whatever." He was.
Okay.
And then we walked into his car and I was like, "Can I get my key back?" And he was like, "Yeah, when you get in the car." I was like, "Okay." So I get in the car and then he starts pulling away and then I open the door as soon as he's like reversing and I'm like, I just walk out because I was like, I don't want to leave. Like, I'm not leaving with you to go wherever because you're not telling me where. And he walks, and then I get out, he parks the car, and then I'm a pretty fast walker, so I walk a good distance, and then he starts running or chasing after me to get me back to the car. And then one of my friends called me, and they're like, "Hey, is everything all right?" Because I was talking to them prior about like the text. And I was like, "Yeah, I have to go." And then I left, but he still had my key. So then we got to the car, he gave me my key back, but then he started driving away before I could even get out of the car. So he kept on driving, and he was like, "Who was on the phone?" I was like, "It was just one of my friends that called." He's like, "Why?" I was like, "Because I was talking to the prior and stuff like that." And I planned to my friends also that same night, around 7-ish. And we were like, "Okay, we're just gonna," he's like, "Okay." And then he grabbed my phone, he looked through like the text messages like of where I was going, and then grabbed my phone and threw it into the back of his trunk. And then he just drove off. And I didn't know where I was going, and then I kept on asking him, he's like, "Where are we going?" He's like, "Wherever we want to go. Wherever I want to drive. I just want to drive." I was like, "Just tell me, like, I want to know." We get to Geiger, and he's like, "We're talking." I was like, "Can I grab my stuff now?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay." And then he's like, "We're talking," and he's like, "How do we fix this?" and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't know. I was basically, I had no clue. And he's like, "Well, we're not going to leave until we figure something out." And then that's when my mom called me. She's like, "What are you doing at Geiger?" She's on my location. And I was like, "I just drove up here, yada, yada, yada. I'm coming back down." And then we talked for a little bit more, and then he's walking back to his car. And as we're walking back to the car, we're just walking. And then we get back to the car, and he's like, "Okay, we're going to go back to QS and I'll drive you back to your car." And he's driving down Geiger, and then he turns into Big Car. Like, I don't know what, like that avenue's over there. And I was like, "What are we doing?" Like, you said we're going home. He's like, "I just want to make amends and like fix things." And he's like, he's just driving me in circles. I was like, "I just want to go home." And then he pulled out, and then he turned into that little storage thing right after the bases. And he just drove around there, and he's like, "Are we talking? Like, what do you want to do?" I was like, "I don't know. Like, I just want to go back to my car." He's like, "We're driving back to QS." And then he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna grab my stuff, whatever stuff I have at your house, and then we're dropping you off your car." I was like, "Okay." So then he goes to my house, grabs all his stuff, and then we drive out. And he's like, "I'm driving you to your car." Then we're driving down the beach over here by Snallers and the Pigs, and then he keeps on going straight. So he goes by Brady's and then turns right. And then after he turns right, he goes on Government Road. I'm like, "What are we doing here?" He's like, he said something, I don't really remember because I just like, it was all a haze and like that moment, and he's like, something about like, "I'm gonna beat you" or something. And
He's gonna what?
Like beat you or something. Like,
Beat you?
He got violent. And then I was like, "What? Why?" Like I get like our relationship is rocky and stuff like that, but it doesn't need to lead to this. And then we got there. He tried to pull me out of the car. It didn't work. And then he pulled me out eventually. And then I started running. Mind you, we're all the way at the end of Government Road. So I was like running because I was like, that's the only response I have right now. Like, I don't want to also get hurt. And then my phone was like a low percentage, and I was like, if I call right now, he's gonna grab the phone, put it back there, and I'm not gonna have anybody to call him, or like my phone's about to die as well. So I just didn't want to call anybody because I was like, I'd rather keep it and have my location up with everybody because everybody saw my location with my mom. And then it got physical, and like my glasses I had on, which are over there in his hand, they got a little bent on the side piece, and like he tried to punch me and like kick, like go like this, to, like my like stomach area, but this, and then somehow I ended up on the ground, but like he maybe got like a little slap here and there, but like that was it. But like I had a big keychain right here, like that had like my college that I'm going to on it, and it was ripped off and stuff like that. And I was like, "Are we done?" He's like, "Yeah." And then he drove and he's like, "I'm driving you back to the car." And then I open the car door and then he speeds up. So then I slam the door, and then that's when he gets physical again. And he's like trying to like hit me, but I'm like this, so he misses entirely, and the only thing he hits was one of my keys that like just scraped him right here, that he got a little small little skin cut and stuff. So I was like, that's the only thing like if I like did, like not really, but
Okay, so let me ask you this, right?
yes.
So your mom and him knew about this, right?
Yeah.
That something like this happened.
Yeah.
Why wait till a week later to make a report?
We waited because we were like,
Why?
because we were like, my mom was like, I don't want like his whole like life to be ruined.
Okay, but so the story is not necessarily crazy or anything like that. I get it. You guys were in a relationship.
Yeah.
He wants to talk to you. You're in his car, whatever the case may be. Not too sure you had at any point in time you had time to either call somebody, walk away, run away, whatever the case may be. Not too sure. All right. The thing is, all right, what are you wanting to do to this point? Because one, and let me just explain something to you. All right. There's a couple things you have against you. All right. You waited a whole week.
Yeah.
If there's a crime, let's just say if there's a crime within this incident, okay, it makes it really hard to take to court or anything like that if you want to press charges against him, okay?
Yeah.
You mentioned that you guys kind of got into a physical altercation. The reason why we also tell people to make a report and call law enforcement is because if there's any marks on you, we'll be able to take pictures of it and use that as evidence. I can't see nothing, and you pointed out. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's a week later. So it's all I'm saying is it makes it harder for us to help you on your behalf if there's a crime, all right, that occurred. Okay. If there's something that you want to do, I would have to talk to him as well, because there's always two sides to the story.
Yeah.
So I have to talk to him. Okay. So I understand there might be some things, and I'm not going to throw it out there, but based off the story, all right. It's hard to determine whether you were willing to go with him, okay, in his car.
Yeah.
So one, he deprived you of your property, okay, and then two, pretty much took you and you can say kind of kidnapping you, right, in a way, right?
Yeah.
And those two are crimes, okay. I hate to say this, but those are crimes, but it makes it hard, makes it unbelievable when you report it a week later. Bottom line, I'm going to do a report. But as far as charges, I would have to literally investigate this and
Go on.
make contact with him and get his side of the story.
Yeah.
We came today is because it actually escalated today.
Yeah.
Because he's got a tracking device on his car.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Killian had a chance to mention that to you, but that's actually what
He has what in your car?
There's an Apple AirTag thing.
And pushed into my side mirror. So I just realized
And
that.
it's still there. And it was tracked by this kid. And he followed him to work and followed him to...
Right.
So
That's what I think.
That's
So the
what papers
AirTag
are here
potentially
today.
belongs to...
I think so because, but today I got out of school and it was like, my car's almost at the end of the street at like the first block and he's there. And I'm like, how does he know I'm there? And I straight up asked him like, why are you here? Like, how'd you know my car is here and stuff like that? And he's like,
a warning on your phone?
no, I didn't get anything. And I saw that he was parked there and I was like, how do you know that? And he's like, I mean, I drove by this area earlier, like with my friend, we were just driving around. I was like, okay, but that's weird. How do you know it's my car? On my phone, I see the notification. It's like, you have an AirTag with you. And it said from 3:58 to whatever time I got home. And I was like, weird, maybe like one of my friends dropped it. So I played the sound because it's still there. And then I hear it on my car, or I hear it around my car, and I can't figure out where it's at. And like you have the tracking device part, and I looked at it, and it was like right next to the mirror. And I shook the mirror thing and stuff like that. And then somehow it ended up being like.
You need some help, man?
Yeah.
I played the sound again, and I flipped the mirror like invertedly, not like how it should
Is
go.
it still there?
Yeah, I haven't touched it. This way, and like you can
It's
see
right
it right
there.
in that crack. And I took a picture of it because I was like, I don't know if it's gonna fall out when I'm driving and stuff. But I was like, I don't know where it's from, and stuff like that. Like I don't know how it got there.
Do you want to press charges against him? There's going to be a report done automatically, all right? Because obviously this is pretty serious.
And like
you
to
know?
be honest, I don't want to assume that it was him, but because of like instances like especially today.
We'll be able to find out who this belongs to.
Okay.
Was telling me, and it was the same with AirPods as well. Because I had bought him a pair of AirPods.
AirPods?
Yeah.
Yeah, AirPods would do the same thing like an AirTag.
Yeah.
But the AirTag, you know, in his car, like, it was actually like tucked into the passenger side mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's the one on your car?
I threw it away because
Okay.
I found it.
You
it
found
was
it?
taped to my car though.
It
It
was
wasn't in my
taped-
mirror.
It was taped to your car?
Yeah.
And you don't know who it is?
No.
Okay,
It still
but
said
you-
connecting though.
The biggest thing is, you know, and this is the first time I know about you having one in your car.
Yeah.
Just understand that, all right?
I was asking him today about it, and he literally was acting like.
I wonder why he didn't mention that. I'm going to call him and then talk to him about
Okay.
it. But bottom line is this,
Yeah.
right? Be careful. I'm not saying it's yours. all right? But something like that is that's a crime
Yeah.
to be putting that kind of stuff on other people's vehicles.
Yeah.
That's stalking. Yeah.
If I'm being genuinely honest, I thought it was his. That's why I literally just grabbed it and threw it
Yeah.
away. Because I asked him about it,
Yeah.
I would say maybe like 3 days ago.
Okay.
And then he was like, oh, like it didn't like pop up like 3 days ago. Oh, but
Right.
it didn't pop up on Friday or Saturday, but it popped up today. Because my car, it like started like, it sounds like every single time I go over a bump, it sounds like something's like shaking.
Yeah, it's like a vibration.
Yeah.
Yeah, like zzz,
Yeah.
like
And I was
zzz.
telling him that when we were hanging out on like Tuesday night or
Right.
Wednesday night. And he was like, oh, it didn't pop up on Friday or Saturday. So then I was like,
Weird.
yeah.
Yeah. Based off the incident that happened last Friday, all right, probably in the best interest for both of y'all
Just like
that you guys stop communicating.
Yeah.
Okay. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, for you and him,
Yeah.
he's reported that. He doesn't want to pursue charges, but now it's documented that you guys actually got into a verbal argument and a physical altercation, although he didn't want to pursue anything like that, right? Now you guys are talking again, but it doesn't help,
Yeah.
you know, with the case if there's going to be a case, right? Because at one point, Killian's saying, "Oh, I don't want it to escalate," but yet you're communicating, coming back together. So
Yeah.
all I'm saying is just kind of just stop it for now,
Okay.
all right, and just be done with it and try to move on as much as possible. Okay? All right. You have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
And I kept telling her stop, and the more I tell her stop, she kept hitting me harder.
Yeah.
She wouldn't let me go. She had me by my hair. Like, sorry.
Do you have any medical
My head. Guess what? Here she got me. My hands.
Okay.
I don't know if that blood was there, but she was there, and then she did this right here. And I have a bump on my head from her grabbing because she was banging my head on top of me. She started this whole thing. I'm sorry, I know you're not the cop. I'm sorry.
Okay, let it out. Let me just check your head real quick. Where did she hit you?
I gotta feel it. Right here.
Does it hurt if I push
Yes.
down?
Yes.
Okay. You gotta push a little bit.
Yeah, all that right there. Right here, right here, the physical.
Okay. Move your hand.
Sorry.
Okay.
She did this to me. And I see everyone coming to her because she's wearing clothes or something. Not to me, but you know, men nowadays, that's what they like. To you. Or to you. So if you're in traffic, how did you end up here?
Because we were on the other side of the parking lot when the car
Oh,
came
yeah, I was gonna say you guys got
Yeah,
here fast. I was on the phone and you guys
you stood on
already
the
got
phone.
here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when we heard the call come out, we heard the address, we came right over.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you did. Because if I didn't pull back and you guys didn't come, she would have kept on.
Yeah.
She said my blood pressure high. I feel like it is.
All right, tell me what's going on.
When we walked out, I heard her yelling.
Who's her?
The girl with the red hair.
The older lady?
Yes.
On the white car?
Yes.
Okay.
And she was in her car.
In whose
literally,
car? In this car?
Yeah, she had a door closed, window down.
Okay.
So she was like in upper body in her car, and then she was hitting her. And I
Older lady hitting
Yeah.
the young lady in the car?
I didn't know if she had anything. All I heard was her voice the whole time.
You saw her swinging and hitting or
She
something?
didn't try to open the door, try to attack back. She was very calm. Even now, she was very calm.
Okay.
The moment my husband said, "Hey, what's going on?" is when she backed up. I think it was
That lady backed up. Okay.
And then I was like, "Well, what happened?" And she was like, "She hit me. She punched me here."
Who said that?
She was like, "She punched me in the face, but I don't see anything." She was like, and then, "Oh, look at my arm." The injuries rose because she was in her car.
Okay.
And then she was backing her car out, and I told the man, "Don't leave, because it's gonna be worse. Because we're gonna have your plates. You're gonna be leaving the scene.
Okay.
Stay." And then she was like, "Don't take a picture of my license. Don't take a picture of my plate. Don't take a picture of my plate." And she's like, "Why are you on her side?" To my husband, because my husband's like, "Oh my God, you're bleeding," you know, concerned. And he was like, "Oh, I saw her in your car." So she was like, "Don't say it." She just sounded very aggressive. At that point, I was just trying to remain calm and neutral. And I kept telling her, like, "Don't leave." So that's when she finally parked her car. I was like, no, I'm just trying to move away from her car. And I'm like, but she was right
When,
there.
so when you came out here,
Her car was right here.
her car was in this spot where these officers are standing?
Yep. And
Which way was it facing? That way or that
that
way?
way. That's like,
So they were side by side?
Yeah.
And then she backed up like
yes.
that?
So I don't know if she was trying to like roll leave. It seemed like she was trying to.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it. If you guys want to stick around for a couple minutes,
Yeah.
get some more
Any
information from y'all, and then get y'all out of
No
here.
problem.
If you gotta go, just let me know. I have no problem. I'll call you guys in. Okay?
She has a video. She has a FaceTime. It's clear as day.
She does?
Yeah. Get over camera.
Let me, let me
Send her a link.
Okay. Anybody swear in yet?
No, not yet.
All right. Can you do me a favor? Can you step over here for me? Do me a favor. Raise your right hand for me. You swear everything you're going to tell me is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
State your first name and last name.
I was coming in to Dollar Tree and I was stocking in and she's coming in from that way. And she's close to me. She was like, if you open your door and hit my car, we're going to have problems. Something in that situation. I said, ma'am, you're over the line. She's like,
Y'all have the window